Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Ishvaro Guru Atmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapte Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punaha Punaha. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. What is the most important question in your life? Have you ever wondered as to what is the most important thing in your life to know, to realize, or to attain? There are millions and millions of set of dreams and desires in every human body's life, but have you ever paused and tried to explore as to what is the most seminal question in your life? What is known as the existential question. Have you ever wondered that are you product of an biological accident, or you are an outcome of some long-held design of the destiny or fate of your individual karma? Have you ever, more than 99.9% of the humanity never ever bothers to ask this most fundamental and seminal question of one's life. And until you are prepared to explore this most fundamental question of your life, there is no possibility of any peace and bliss in the real sense of the term, or to use a more popular term, the so-called success in life. Every single success you achieve becomes a chimera, a momentary ephemeral moment for you, because the moment you get or attain that desired object, you find that there are another set of dozens of desires which have cropped up in your mind. So you don't find that the fulfillment of any desire or a particular set of desires leads to permanent or in any sense authentic contentment, whereafter you feel that now you are fulfilled, now you don't need anything anymore. No. Therefore, in the Vedanta philosophy, the most important question the humanity has been, and the human life has been supposed to be exploring, experimenting, try to get the answer of is the existential question about your own true nature. Who are you? Kastvam. Kastvam is the most fundamental question of your life, or koham. Who am I? Koham. Who am I? Kastvam. Tum kaun ho? This is the most fundamental question, and the supreme success in the life, supreme success in the sense that once you attain that success, nothing remains to be achieved, nothing remains to be done thereafter, nothing remains to be enjoyed after enjoying that bliss of that success. In that sense, Vedanta calls that supreme success. And knowing your true nature alone leads to the supreme fulfillment of yours or anyone. Unless and until you come to know your true nature, the hankering after, the run after, the thirst for the sensual objects, the hunger for the worldly dreams and desires will continue ceaselessly, endlessly. And the Vedanta philosophy tells you that for millions and millions of cycles and death, resulting in insurmountable level of trauma, tragedy and suffering is inflicted upon you, and you find yourself in the helpless and hapless condition, what you have been told to believe that that is your fate, that is your fait accompli, a French term for that, that you can't escape it. Something divine or divinely ordained or some external force has enchained you for these kind of sorrows and suffering. This is patently false. This is not the truth. You, whenever you suffer or experience any sorrow, sadness, trauma, this is not the creation of anybody else, anything else, anyone else, but you, in the sense of your actions in a very comprehensive sense of the term, your mental, verbal and physical set of actions alone create your sense of sorrows, sufferings, and thereby your set of pleasures, joys and blissfulness in life. Whenever and wherever you do experience, you and you alone are responsible for that. None, whosoever, whatsoever, either in past or future, is responsible for the sorrow and suffering of yours. You have created by the mental, physical and verbal actions of every moment of your life. You are constantly sowing the seeds of those particular coming or resulting set of good or bad outcomes in your life. So for the first and the most important thing you have to realize is that none whosoever, neither the God nor the devil, is responsible for your bondage and resultant suffering, nor anyone else can deliver you from this incessant chain of bondage, sorrow and sufferings. You yourself have enchained yourself, and you alone are capable of, programmed of, and empowered to break free from that endless chain of sorrow and suffering. So the first and most important thing to remember is you need to muster the courage to take responsibility for your life. Vast majority of the humanity since the time immemorial find it so convenient and easy to throw the responsibility for their sorrows and sufferings upon somebody else, some invisible, intangible divine force or devil force somewhere else. This is the biggest illusion or ignorance in you. You and you alone have been responsible so far, and you alone would be capable or entitled to break free from that vicious chain of births and deaths, resulting in inexhaustible, unsurmountable sorrows and sufferings. So, to put it in simple terms, knowing your true nature, who you are you the name and form you have identified, and the family you were born, the parents you were born, the country, the culture, the race, the geographical land called country you have identified with? Have you? More than 99.9% humanity doesn't bother to, they don't have the mental, intellectual space or inquisitiveness to ask this fundamental question. This is about none. This is about not the God or some intangible external reality. This is about you. Is anyone and anything more important for you than you, your own life? This is an empirical reality. If you ask yourself honestly, in fact, even in this life of bondage, you are ever concerned about yourself. But yourself is nothing more than this composition of and mass of bones, blood and flesh, the body consciousness. That is the problem. Once you go deeper and try to explore your true identity, because you have been made to believe that this body was born and this body will die, and that is a true and that is a fact and that is empirical scientific reality, but are you limited to this body alone? Are you confined and conditioned in the mental modifications alone? Or is there anything higher, superior, transcendental, eternal and immortal about you, about your identity, about your personality, your individuality? The Vedanta philosophy and the sages and seers, not 1, 2, 3 or dozens or hundreds, thousands and millions of the enlightened masters, the sages and seers for time immemorial have told you, and that cuts across the time and climb. I am using the sages and seers not in a parochial, narrow sense of Indian philosophy or culture or Vedic. Across the human history, in all the cultures and climates, there have been people who have explored, who have wondered, and come to the conclusion that the body or the body identity of yours is not your ultimate identity. And especially, let's come to this extent, most of the metaphysics, religious philosophies and sacred literature do agree, but let's come to Vedanta philosophy. Vedanta tells you that you are essentially not this perishable, momentary mass of blood, bones and flesh called body. Your body consciousness, Dehatma Buddhi, is your greatest bondage, or I would call the greatest sin, the root of all the sins resulting in endless suffering. Your belief, firm held belief, this belief is not limited to this life alone. For millions and millions of births, you have come to believe that you are nothing but this perishable, momentary body. So there is fate accomplished to die. You are bound to perish. You are bound to disappear. You are nothing more than a temporary wave or bubble on the surface of this world. That is the greatest illusion. You are not the perishable, pitiable, momentary, ephemeral mass of blood, bones and flesh. You are the immortal, eternal, universal, cosmic, almighty illuminator, ever-present illuminator, popularly known as Atman, Paramatman, Brahman, Ishvara, variously called, or God even. That is ever present within you, in the nature of and of the nature of the light of consciousness, light of pure awareness, the choiceless awareness and infinite intelligence is ever present within you and continues to illuminate and reveal every single experience of your life, sensory or otherwise. So that is the question. How to know? Is it because you are going to read some sacred literature or philosophical text that you are going to come to know the true nature of yours? No. You have to experiment it for yourself. The guru or the sacred literature would be helpful in the beginning because they would point it out that exploration, the great journey, the most important journey of your life must go through these kind of lanes by lanes, and then the national highway and the cosmic highway of spiritual quest or journey. But the journey has to be undertaken by the seeker alone. You alone have to explore these questions. And let me give an illustration, an example. When Jagat Guru Adi Shankara asked, he was visiting Western India, some village, and poor parents of a farm family, a peasant parents came to meet Jagat Guru Adi Shankara with their sole child who was dumb since childhood. He never had spoken. He was of about 15-16 years of age, but he was absolutely dumb. And they came with the request and prayers to Jagat Guru Adi Shankara and told him that, Gurudev, we have just one son, just this child alone is our inheritor, and he doesn't speak at all. Kindly do something, have mercy on us. Then Adi Shankara asked this most fundamental seminal question that I was referring to. Kastvam, who are you? Without bothering about anything else, without any other inquiry, Jagat Guru looked into the eye of the child called Hastamalaka, who became the first disciple of Jagat Guru Adi Shankara. The Jagat Guru asked this question, Kastvam, who are you? Let me recite that verse. And the answer that was given, the adolescent boy immediately began to speak. So let me recite those 3 verses which I'll explain in simple terms for you to understand. They are so seminal and central to self-realization, realization of your true nature. Without knowing your true nature, you are not going to see a cessation of your sorrows and sufferings. So, Acharya Uvacha, Kastvam Shisho Kasya Kutosi Ganta Kim Namate Tvam Kutaya Gatosi Etanmayoktam Vadacharbhakatvam Matpritaye Priti Vivardhanosi. Hasta Malaka Uvacha Naham Manusyo Nacha Devayakshau Na Brahmana Kshatriya Vaishya Shudra Na Brahmachari Na Grihi Vanasthe Bhikshurna Chaham Nijabodharupah Bhikshurna Chaham Nijabodharupah Nimittam Manaschakshuradi Pravrittau Nidastakhiloradhiyakashakalpah रविर्लोकचष्टा निमित्तं यथायः स नित्योपलब्धि स्वरूपोऽहमात्मा स नित्योपलब्धि स्वरूपोऽहमात्मा स नित्योपलब्धि स्वरूपोऽहमात्मा. In between these three verses, you get to know the most seminal, fundamental and central question haunting the entire mankind, and a brief answer to that too. So, I'll explain to you in simple English. I'll translate these verses. So, Jagat Guru Adi Shankara asked the adolescent child, Hastamalaka, "O my son, tell me, who are you? Where have you come? Who are your parents? Where are you going? Please introduce yourself to me and increase the affection and love I am already feeling upon you by answering my questions." This is the question that was asked to Hastamalaka, the dumb child who had never spoken. And immediately after this question, that dumb child started speaking right there. And these are the most central seminal verses of Advaita Vedanta, that introduction. Most revolutionary introduction in the human history ever by anyone. So Hastamalaka Vacha. Then Hastamalaka, the dumb child, replied. All of a sudden, for the first time, he began to speak and he answered as follows. He says, "Naham manusyo na cha deva yakshau na brahmana kshatriya vaishya shudra na brahmachari na grihi vanastho bhikshur na chaham nijabodharupa." Amazing, unbelievable, most revolutionary introduction. He says, the child says, "I am neither human, I am neither God, neither I am demigod, yaksha. I am neither brahmachari, nor garhastha, the householder, nor the vanaprasthi, nor the bhikshu, the renunciate, the sannyasi. I am neither the brahmana, nor kshatriya, nor vaishya, nor shudra. I am none of them. I am the ever-present, ever-available, supreme reality called Atman, which is ever-present in the seat of the heart, which keeps illuminating and revealing every single experience. That Atman I am, the ever-present, ever-available Atman I am. That is my introduction. That is my identification." And then he goes further. He says, you see, all the duality and distinction we have identified with the race, the country, the culture, the time and climb, the family, the community, these are all out of sheer ignorance about our true nature. All these relationships do exist, but all these relationships are confined to the body alone. And the child says that I am not the body. The root of this answer lies in the deep realization by that child that I am not the body. All these dharmas or affiliations belong to body alone. And he elaborates further. He says that as in the case of this physical world, the entire world and universe becomes active and begins to illuminate and reveal the worldly experiences only after the sunrise. The central and seminal role of the sun, the Surya, in this physical world and the physical universe that you experience is central. Do you know, even the astrophysicists have told you, and it's a scientific fact, that this entire solar system, the universe you know of, will disappear within 8 minutes if the sun sets forever. Within 8 minutes of the sun deciding, or for some physical reason, going to not rise again ever, the entire world would disappear, freeze in nothingness. So he says that as this physical universe we experience becomes possible, is revealed and illumined to us with the presence of the sun, the Surya, similarly I am that sun of the self without whose presence nothing, none can be experienced, none exists. I am the source, substance and substratum of the entire universe. In absence of mind, nothing exists, nothing remains alive. I am the source, substance and substratum of this entire multiple world of physical and phenomenal duality. I am the one indivisible, pure consciousness called Atman, which is ever present in the heart, and I alone illumine and reveal the entire universe. This is my introduction, and that I am. Sanityopalabdhi swarupoham Atma, the ever-present Atma, the pure consciousness, the light of love, the light of pure consciousness, the light of blissfulness, ever-present reality, the supreme reality, the almighty reality, which is your true identity, and that can be experimented. It's not a matter of faith or belief. Most of the religious systems in India, by and large, go after not the beliefs. Belief, to a certain extent, may be important or relevant for the beginning of the journey, but the journey has to be undertaken, and finally the full realization and final realization has to be the self-realization, the personal, direct, immediate experience called aparokshanubhuti, unless and until you experience for yourself, as in the case of yourself, unless you know for yourself that sugar is sweet, salt is salty, the chili is bitter, pungent, the flowers are beautiful, unless and until you know for yourself, your own experience, the faith is not going to take you far. Similarly, unless and until you know your true nature, what Hastamalaka is revealing and all the Advaita masters and the great spiritual masters of the world have revealed, you are not going to be satisfied forever. You would not be able to know your true nature, and to know yourself in totality, in reality, in the supreme sense of the term. What is your ultimate identity? What is your ultimate reality? You must know, you must realize for yourself, not by reading the books or somebody else's introduction of yours. You must know and realize for yourself. That alone leads to the supreme deliverance, the supreme freedom called in Vedic culture as moksha or mukti or atma sakshatkar or brahma sakshatkar. These are variously called, but the phenomenon and the supreme attainment is the same. So let me wish and pray that the light dawns upon you, the light of self, and you at least begin to ask this query, that who you are, where have you come from, where are you going? Because that would alone lead to the supreme satisfaction after knowing your true nature. You are not a pitiable, perishable body. You are an eternal, unborn, undying Atman, the Paramatman. You are the source, substratum and substance of the entire phenomenal world. That is your true nature. Chidanandarupaha Shivoham Shivoham चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं 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 I am that immortal, eternal, unborn and undying Shiva of the nature of pure consciousness, of the nature of blissfulness. Bliss, love, and beauty is inherent and intrinsic to my existence. I don't need to borrow from anyone else. I am embodiment of everlasting beauty. I am embodiment of eternal and infinite love. I am embodiment of eternal joy. I am that Shiva, Shiva of the nature of eternal bliss. Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupah Chidanandarupah Shivoham Shivoham 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 Sarvabhutantarasthaya Nityamoktachidatmane Pratyaka Chaitanya Rupaya Mahyameva Namo Namaha Mahyameva Namo Namaha Mahyameva Namo Namaha Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Om Hari Om